What's happening? Arnold Reasons, and I just wanted to shoot this video real quick just to ask you one key question. Have you come to know God as the God of your salvation? I'm not talking about the overriding big picture of the gospel message about how Jesus died and took the punishment we deserve so that we would have eternal life and not perish. But what I'm talking about is knowing Him as the God of your salvation in your day-to-day living. So when you're in that situation at work, when you're dealing with a project that seems so far outside of your skill set and your experience, do you know Him as the God of your salvation in that moment? When you're trying to figure out a new way to deliver value to your customers in your business, and it seems like everything you've tried has failed, do you know Him as the God of your salvation in those situations? When it comes to your family life, your marriage, and it feels like things might not be going the way that you'd expected or hoped for, do you know Him as the God of your salvation in those situations? These are just a few examples out of so many different things we go through in everyday normal experiences of life, Monday through Sunday. But sometimes we forget, or maybe have never come to know God as the God of our salvation in all areas of our lives. And if you haven't kind of got the hint from a lot of the content that we put together, that's something we're really big on here. Because whilst God is super interested in your eternal destination and you having eternal life, He's also super interested in the everyday details of our lives. In fact, that's how we practice acknowledging God in all of our ways so that He can make our path straight. That's how we develop a vibrant and dynamic, meaningful relationship with God, where we don't just meet up with Him from time to time at the tent of meeting or the sacred place, but we come to know Him in our everyday living, moment by moment, where prayer becomes part of a continuous conversation that never really stops. And we grow in our understanding of what God's design and His desire for us is in all areas of our lives. Because what we have to remember is that the bigger picture is that as Christians, we're going on this journey of being sanctified, being made to look less and less like the people we once were, and more like Jesus Christ, God's original design for us in all areas of life. So that doesn't just affect the typical things like how we meet together when we read the word and praise and worship and all of those things, but it also affects how we act in the workplace, how we deal with our customers in our business, the principles that guide us in our relationships, in our marriages, and just in all areas of our lives. And so I come back to the same question that I asked you at the start of this video. Have you come to know God as the God of your salvation? Because if you haven't, there's so much more to this relationship that God has called you to with Him. And take it from me, by stepping away from just the typical occasional meetings with God, stepping into doing life in all areas with God in view and as part of the conversation will completely change the way that you see the world and better prepare us for the eternity that He's prepared for us. Peace.